we are going to be talking about relations. So to get started, let's go ahead and define relations. It's a set of ordered pairs, okay? Pretty simple definition. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. A set of ordered pairs, okay? So the set of x values is called the domain. And the set of y values is called the range. Okay? So looking at number 1, we have a set of ordered pairs and it's asking us for the domain and range. Okay? Whenever it's asking you for the domain and range, there's 2 things that I want you to keep in mind. Okay? When you have repeating values that are either the input or the output, like on the input, I'm just going to go ahead and show you what I see here. On the x values, looking at all of the x values, we have this -3 that repeats. Okay? You don't have to include both of those -3s. You just leave one of them off. Okay? The other thing that's important is that you always list them from least to greatest. Okay? So in the domain, for the domain, we're going to look at all of the x values, and I'm just going to put an x above each one. So it'll be easier for you to see when we're first getting started. Okay? So I'm going to make this little squiggly line bracket right there. I'm not real good at drawing those. But we have a -3, -2, a 1, and a 3. Okay, and then I'm going to close that bracket. All right, now let's look at our y values. So our y values are right here, which is going to be our range. Okay, and remember, these are going to go from least to greatest. So if you need to write them down on a piece of paper to kind of get that in your mind, or if you need to mark them off as you go, do that. That's what I'm going to do to show you. Okay, so I'm going to make my little squiggly line bracket there. So I have a -4. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark that off. And then I have a 0. I'm going to go ahead and mark that off. And then I've got a 1, a 2, and I need to mark it off. And then I finally have, what am I missing here? A 5. Oh, because I didn't mark off my 1. I was thinking, did I miss one? Okay, so there we have it, least to greatest, okay? And I'm going to close it with the squiggly line bracket right there. All right, so I know this is going to take a little bit of extra time, but it's important to have it in the order that it needs to be in, okay? Now that I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and erase all of this that I have because we're going to refer back to it to kind of help us write down what we need in our table. Okay? So over here on the table, we're going to list all of the x values. Now for here, since it's asking for the x values, we're just going to write them down just like we see them. Okay? So we had a -3. Let me change my pen color. All right, we have a -3, we have a -2, a 1, a 3, and a -3. Okay, and then now we're looking at the y values. So it's going to be a 1, 0, 2, -4, and a 5. Okay, you guys are pretty used to doing these. So then we're moving over here to the mapping diagram, okay? And with the mapping diagram, you're doing the same thing for the domain and range, okay? And I'm just going to write it on there so that you'll know what we're doing, okay? That means that we are going to, first of all, we're only going to use one of the -3s, okay? And we're going to list them in order of least to greatest, okay, going down the oval, okay? So we've got a -3, and I'm just going to use what I've already figured that out, so I'm just going to look over here. -3, -2, 1, and a 3. Okay? So -3, -2, 1, and 3. And then for the range, I'm going to list those as well in least to greatest order. So I've got a -4, I've got a 0, a 1, a 2, and a 5. Okay? And I'm going to change my color so that you can see where each one of these are going, the arrows. Okay, so we have -3 is going to 1, okay? We have -3 and it's going to go to 1. All right, and then over here we have -2 and 0. So we've got -2 to 0. And then we have 1, 2. So 1, 2. And then we have 3, -4. So you have 3 and it's going to go up to -4. Okay? And then we have a -3, 5. Well, we didn't list the -3 twice, so you're just going to go to that -3 again, and you're going to draw that arrow to the 5. Okay? So while we didn't list the -3, we know that -3 is one of the values, is a value that goes to 5. Okay? That's why we have two values for the for y. Okay, we have two values for the range. Okay, now that we're done with that one, let's go over here to the graph. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the x-axis and the y-axis so it kind of separates it out for you. You can see it clearly. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to label the x and the y-axis for you. Okay? And then remember that if it's a positive number from the origin on the x-axis, it's going to be to the right is positive, and then to the left is negative. And then from the origin on the y-axis, if you're going to go up, it's going to be a positive. If you go down from the origin, it's going to be a negative. All right? So I'm going to change my colors again so that I can plot these points. All right. Now we're going to go back to our ordered pairs just like you're used to doing in graphing. Okay, and we're going to graph those. So we have -3 and 1. So we're going to start at the origin and we're going to go to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go up 1. 1. Okay. Next order pair says -2, 0. So we're going to be traveling on the x-axis 2 places to the left because it's -2. So we're going to be 1, 2. And it's 0 on the y-axis. So we are just going to stop right there. Okay. And there's our point for that. Okay. 1, 2. Oh, you know what? I went to the wrong one here. Hold on. Let's backtrack. My first point is wrong, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to erase it. There we go. Let's go back and do it again. Okay. Yes, we all make mistakes. All right. Go back to the first one. I went to -2. I guess I was looking at the second one for some reason. Or maybe I just counted wrong. So it's -3, 1. So to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. And up 1. Excuse me. Okay. Now, and we just did the -2, 0. And that one is correct. 1, 2. And we stopped at 0. Now the next one is 1, 2. So 1 on the x-axis and which is we're going to be going to the right one because it's a positive number, and then it's a positive 2, so we're going to go up 2. 1, 2. Okay? And then the next number is, or the next order pair is 3, negative 4. So from the origin, we're going to go to the right 3 because it's positive. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Okay. Next one is negative 3, 5. So from the origin, we're going to go to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And we are done. All right, so can you guys think, can you remember about what type of graph this is? When there's just those points, it is a discrete graph, remember? When it has distinct points. All right, I hope this helped you guys.